Ladies and gentlemen, as many of you may know, Kyle Rittenhouse found not guilty on all 5 charges. Justice has prevailed. My name is Maurice, also known as Native Patriot. And, we went through a roller coaster over the past couple weeks, trying to figure out if Kyle was going to be found guilty or not. This was a big deal. This was a huge step in the right direction. And I hope that something like this, Rittenhouse being found not guilty, will wake people up who are kind of uninitiated into this realm. Because I know that in order to understand everything that's going on, you have to be actively looking. Because if you passively listen to media, you will get a completely different story. And you'll probably be confused as to why Rittenhouse wasn't found guilty. Because the mainstream media said that he was a white supremacist that traveled across state lines with a weapon he was illegally bearing, and went out to this protest to go hunt down black people. In reality, what had happened is after 2 days of violent and destructive riots, Rittenhouse, 17-year-old boy, answered a call from his community, and he went out with a weapon he was legally possessing to protect a car source, which was an answer of a call by him from the, I believe, Indian owners of it. He went out there to defend his community, the innocent people in his community, because he knew that there were no adults around actually doing it. The police were not stopping what was going on. The media was complicit in the riots and the destruction, saying it's mostly peaceful. And Kyle knew that his community was going to be burned to the ground, and nobody was doing anything, so why not him? Why shouldn't he be able to do that? An able-bodied man going out and answering the call to defend the innocent. That is a good thing. To the people that say that he had no right to be there, I am ashamed of you. Nobody should have been out there, first of all. The rioters shouldn't have been out there. The police should have been there stopping the rioters, but they weren't. So why wouldn't Kyle have the right or the wit to be out there? Because it took courage for him to go out into harm's way. He had a medical kit. He did render medical aid to multiple people before being violently chased by a serial rapist pedophile, Joseph Rosenbaum, who, as far as I can tell, wasn't even part of these riots. He'd just gotten out of a mental institution. He couldn't stay at his fiance's house because she had a restraining order against him. And he saw a riot, so he decided to join, and he was out for blood. He told Rittenhouse that if he caught any one of him or his buddies out there tonight alone, he was going to kill them. I believe he said he would cut out their hearts. But Rittenhouse wasn't deterred. He didn't stop just because some idiot 5'3" loser was making threats. I'm so confused as to why there is an idolization of violent criminals for the past year. George Floyd, okay? Let me be clear about this. You can be sad that George Floyd died. That's fine. But do not idolize that man. He was a lifelong criminal who never turned his life around. Never. Even up until the end. He had never turned his life around. Jacob Blake. The reason that there were riots in Kenosha. A rapist who had defied a restraining order, taken the keys to a rental car from his, I believe, ex or whoever had called the cops, when there were kids in the car, opened the car door before getting shot 7 times. He didn't get killed, by the way, but he did get shot 7 times. He could have easily stolen that car, crashed it with children in the car, but nobody talks about that because they're too busy idolizing this man. His name was on the helmets of NFL players. This guy is a violent criminal. And I still hear people defending somebody like Joseph Rosenbaum, a serial rapist pedophile. He had 5 victims, 11 different incidents that we know of. That is horrifying. And as far as I'm concerned, Karma found him swiftly that night, August 25th, 2020, when he chased down Rittenhouse, another minor boy that apparently Rosenbaum liked. So I'd say that karma came in the form of freedom seeds from Rittenhouse, but that's just me. And then Gage Grosskreutz and Anthony Huber, the two men that had attacked Rittenhouse afterwards, I guess learned the consequences of the mob mentality that they were joining, because they had no reason to attack Rittenhouse. Gage Grosskreutz especially, because on his video that he recorded himself asking Rittenhouse what he was doing, Rittenhouse said he was going to the police. Only a block and a half away from him before he got attacked and ended up shooting those other folks. So the media is destructive in this country. Very, very destructive. They're still saying that he's a white supremacist who crossed state lines with a weapon to shoot Black Lives Matter protesters. And it's gross. It's not true. I hope that this can wake people up, the people who are uninitiated, to understand that what the media is trying to do. They're trying to divide and conquer us as Americans. That's all they're trying to do. Divide and conquer. And maybe we can use this as an opportunity to show maybe the uninitiated folk that this is what the media said about the trial, about Rittenhouse. This is what actually happened. This is why he was found not guilty. Now, you can go through a timeline of the media. I mean, there's plenty of compilations out there about what they said about Rittenhouse. And hopefully that can wake some people up, because there's an agenda out there to divide and to conquer us as a people. And I don't believe it. I mean, I don't believe that they'll succeed, rather. But let me be clear about this. This precedent that a lot of the left-wing media is saying, that there's going to be a bunch of right-wing people out there, if you do decide to go out and protect your community, you better be careful, because there's more evidence exonerating Kyle in this trial than you could ever hope for. I would not rely that you'll have that much evidence exonerating you. There was not one shred of evidence showing that Kyle Rittenhouse was the aggressor, or that he had any ill intentions going out there that night. Not one. The prosecutor brought up that he brought video game, that he played like Call of Duty. And he's like, isn't it true that you played Call of Duty and what you do in that game is you shoot everything that comes at you? That's how low they stoop. They will lie, they will cheat, they will submit false evidence, they will try to change witness testimony. They will even point a gun at a jury. Thomas Binger, look it up. He grabbed the AR-15, didn't clear the chamber, pointed at the jury with his finger on the trigger. They will lie, cheat, and steal, and do everything in their power. The media will be complicit to prosecute you if they can see you as a useful tool to paint the narrative that there's a huge problem of white supremacy in this country and that it needs to be stopped, and that everybody is racist. And yeah, y'all, just understand this. This country is not racist. This is, I'd say, the most fair country that humans have ever come up with. The most fair. Doesn't mean it's perfect. There's a lot of problems. Every institution is prone to corruption. The government, churches, our justice system. I mean, look at that prosecutor, Thomas Binger. He's corrupt. Look at our president, Joe Biden. He's definitely corrupt. Every institution is prone to corruption. But the checks and balances that have been put in this country, at least, some 200 odd years later, it's still prevailed. Even with all these lies and the media coming out after this boy, justice still prevailed. So, hopefully, you guys can show your friends and family who are uninitiated into this that there is an attack on this country, and there is domestic terrorists trying to burn this country down. And hopefully you can show them what the reality is and what side the media is on. The media wants to burn and destroy just as bad as these rioters do, and these looters, these domestic terrorists, these Black Lives Matter Antifa types. They want to burn, loot, destroy. And someone like Kyle Rittenhouse, willing to protect his community and his country. And I'm proud of him. So, thank y'all for watching. Till then, don't follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, any of that stuff. I don't have any of it. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that. Till then, God bless you and God bless America.